Welcome to the next video in the Introduction to Penetration Testing series. In this video, we're going to be looking at web application vulnerability scanning. Web application vulnerability scanners are automated tools that scan web applications, normally from the outside, to look for security vulnerabilities such as cross-site scripting, SQL injection, command injection, path traversal, and insecure server configurations. The two vulnerability scanners we're going to be looking at today are Nikto and Uniscan. I'm already set up, ready to go. I know my IP address is 192.168.100.6, and I'll just check that just to make sure. And sure enough, down here we have 192.168.100.6. I'll now just do a quick scan just to check to see what other virtual machines are, or what other IP addresses are on my system. I'm just going to do a sudo nmap -sn 192.168.100.1, and I'm just going to go to 10. 192.168.100.6 is my machine, so I would be confident to say that 192.168.100.8 is the target machine. Let's just check that. I'm just going to do a quick sudo nmap -s capital S 192.168.100.8. I'm only doing a quick SYN scan just to make sure, really to see if I've got port 80 open. So we're running this, and there we go, we've got port 80 open, so I'm now confident, 100% confident, that 192.168.100.8 is my target machine. The first of the vulnerability scanners we're going to look at is Nikto, and Nikto is a fine vulnerability scanner. And if we just have a look, we've got a lot of help that we can get, and these are some of the options that we can use. The main option, the option that we're pretty much going to use here, is we're going to use the format option and the host option. And we're just going to go sudo Nikto. We're going to do a -host, and our host is HTTP. Now we must put in the HTTP because that is the protocol that Nikto will use, and then the URL of the target machine, in this case it's going to be 192.168.100.8, and I'm going to be very specific. I only want it to look at the XVWA web application. Now I want to output this to a file, so I'm just going to go -F, which is format, and the format that we're going to use is HTML. So this will be an HTML file, a web file, and I want to output it to a specific file, and I'm just going to call this one a Nikto file scan or vuln scan. The date 2020-08-12. It's the 11th, and I want it to be an HTML file. So when I run this, it will run. We can see some of the issues that are already coming up. So it's telling us that the PHP session ID has been created without the HTTP only flag. The anti-clickjacking XRAME options header is not present. The cross-site scripting protection header has not been defined. The Apache web server application appears to be outdated. We can see that there's a number of OSVDB issues that should be looked at. Now this is continuing on, and now that we're finished, this here is basically our report. Just do a quick ls. You'll see that I have the Nikto vuln scan 2020. Right, so that's our vulnerability scan. I can now just open up I'll just open up a web folder, a browser folder, and we'll have a look at that. And I'm just going to open it with Firefox. This is the report that we get. So this is where we could come to find our issues, the vulnerabilities that Nikto has been able to scan. Another scanner that you can look at using is a thing called Uniscan. If we do again, we're going to use sudo Uniscan. This is a very simple scanner to use. It's just Uniscan -u for URL. Again, we must give the protocol otherwise it won't work. Again, I'm being specific, and we're going to use queds, and we'll look at queds in just a minute. So dash queds, and we'll let this run through. You can see it's crawling through and using a number of different plugins that it will use to look for vulnerabilities. Depending on the size of the website that you're looking at and whether you're traversing a number of external sites, etc., it could take quite a while to do these types of scans. So now that we've done the scans, we could look in here into our report, and we could see that we have a report out there that will give us the types of vulnerabilities.